another edition in the series of our programs that we discuss different issues from different parts of Nigeria and Africa. Today we are glad to have the Director General of Nigerian Information Development Agency, NITDA, Malam Kashifu Inuwa. Malam Kashifu Inuwa, welcome. In the tradition of the program, whenever we have a guest, we start by knowing who is the personality in our midst.
Abdullahi, I'm a graduate of computer science, and I started my career as a network engineer. I started as a field support engineer. From there, I moved to the back end and the entire IP network. After reaching my peak career in networking, I decided to change to solution design, because my belief is when you are learning, in learning management, you start the launching point where you are struggling to learn. Then you reach your sweet spot where you have excitement while doing the work. Then you reach the expert rate level where you have master everything. You are not learning anymore. So at that point, it's good for you to change. So I decided to change from that point to solution design. From there, I joined the Central Bank of Nigeria as the technology architect. I was the lead of the technical team in charge of architecting the infrastructure of the Central Bank of Nigeria, which led to the cashless policy in Nigeria, or the implementation of the cashless policy in Nigeria. Then when President Muhammadu Buhari appointed Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim as the DG NITDA, he decided to set up a team that will help him to deliver on the mandate of the agency. So he asked me to join him as his technical assistant. Then I left the Central Bank of Nigeria and joined the National Information Technology Development Agency as the technical assistant to the then DG NITDA, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami. I was part of the team that crafted the strategy for the agency that helped transform the Nigerian ICT sector. After achieving a huge milestone, the president decided to elevate him to ministerial position, and he recommended me to succeed him for continuation of the good work he started at NITDA.
So actually, at some point, I had you saying that you have started your ICT profession as a copper, where you did your NYC in Ajakuta, Colombia. What happens there?
Okay, let me take you back. I started from when I joined Galaxy Backbone, but during my let me even started from why I went for computer science. I was born and raised in Mokola community in Hadejia. It's a community of artisans. Most of the people in that community, most of the ambition is to grow up and own a small and medium businesses, or to be a good carpenter or tailor or bricklayer. So everybody in my community has skills, hands-on skills. Then my dad didn't want me to start doing that petty jobs. He insisted I have to go for degree. Then when I was going, I said, okay, if I'm going, let me go and read something that I can have hands-on skills. Even if I don't get a government job, I can have something to earn for a living. Yeah, so that's the reason I went for computer science. Then when I started, while I was in 200 level, I started to learn how to repair computer. So when I come for holidays, I used to repair computer in Hadejia. I used to go to business center to do some works and so on. At that time, I was the only person that has that skill. to repair computers in Hadejia. At some point, even people invite me to come to Kano to help them fix and repair some computer system if they have challenge. Then when I graduated, you know, in university or schools, normally we learn theoretical things and we have knowledge, but knowledge is different from skills, or you have to find a way of converting that your knowledge into skills. So when I was doing my NYSC during that time, I was doing routine 9 to 5 work, moving file from one place to another. Then I challenged myself, why did I go for computer science? I studied computer science to have skills. Why can't I turn that knowledge I got from university into skills? That was the time I challenged myself. I started developing website. So at that time, there was nobody that can pay me to develop website for him, because nobody is seeing value from the knowledge or the skills I have. So I decided to do for the company I served with. That was the Ajakuta Steel Company.
Which is that?
That was 2003. I served 2003, 2004. So I developed the website for them free of charge. I paid with my money to host the website, and I put my contact details online. Then after a few months, one company contacted me that they need a similar website. At that time, my first website, I got 1.5 million naira. So I've been doing website. I did website for almost 3-point-something million naira. But the last website I did, I charged 80,000 naira. And that was the time I decided to stop doing website, because you know the demands, supply and demand. When I started, there were few people that have that skills. Then the skills was the skills. People were developing the skills. So at a time, there were so many people with the skills, and still the demand was low. So the price crashed. The last website I did was for 80,000 naira, and from then I said I will stop doing website.
All right, sir, I'll take you a little back with what you have just said, because this program is designed for our youth, our upcoming generation. Sir, can you tell us a little about your childhood? Because in every woman's part, the real and the interesting part of human being are the childhood. Can you tell us a little about your childhood?
Okay, I come up from a decent family, and you know the tradition in North. Mostly we go for Makaranta Allo to learn how to read Quran. Then in my family, every other child go to Islamia. Islamia means in Connaught, you know, Islamic schools, there are schools that they don't teach in English. They teach in Arabic and Hausa only. So I was one of the childs that's supposed to go to that Islamic school or Islamia. So I started my primary school. I did the Islamia. Junior secondary school, I did GSS 1, GSS 2. It was in GSS 3 I decided. That time I was thinking, yes, in my community we don't have people with higher education. I think at that time I have only a brother who was graduate, but in the whole community there wasn't any graduate. So I started thinking, how do I want to live my life? In that, mostly in our place that time, the people we look up to are those who work in Kano or doing business in Kano. We don't have people living in Kaduna or Abuja in my community. So I was looking at some people coming maybe during weekend or holidays from Kano. How they dress, how they do things is different from people living in that our community. Then I met my dad and I told him, really, if I continue with this Islamia, maybe I'll end up becoming a teacher and spending my entire life in that community. Then I told him, since I have a brother who read law and he was lecturing at that time in Usman Danfodio University. So I told him, I want to be something like him. I don't want to work in Hadija. I want to work maybe in Kano or somewhere, so that when I come back home, people will be looking also at me, and I will inspire others to do more. So my dad agreed with me. He said it's fine because it's our tradition. We want to diversify. We don't want all the children to go for Boko. Let us diversify. Some go for Boko, some go for Arabic, because my dad is an Islamic scholar. So he wants people that will be like him also in the family. So he agreed with me and he supported me. So I moved from the Islamia to the conventional education system in GSS 3. So the time I moved, it was very difficult for me, because at that time, all the 7 or 8 years I spent, 6 years in primary school, 2 years in junior secondary school, I don't think we had any English teacher. So at that time, when I was transferred to the conventional education system, I have to find someone that I can learn from. So I had a friend who is a barrister now. So he's living close to us, and I happened to be in his class. And he was the one taking the best position in the class. So I decided to be his closest friend so that I will learn from him. Every morning I will branch to his house. I had a bicycle then. I will take him to the school. We'll ride the bicycle together to go to school. We'll come back together. And even after school, I spend most of my time with him. So the first term I was there, he came first and I came second in the class. The second term, I took the first position and he became second position. And since then, his dad was not happy. His dad wanted to separate us, that I was the one that was causing his child performance to drop, because since he started schools, he's been taking first position. But since we became friends, that was when he came second position. So that's how it started. Then after 1 year, I took the science exam, and I was lucky to be part of the people that got admission into Science Secondary School, Kafin Hausa. I went there. At that time, I was struggling with English and so on. I'm very good in mathematics, but anything that need long grammar, I don't like it at that time, because I was struggling to understand even how to read and write. So in Science Secondary School, Kafin Hausa, at that time, we had very good teachers in mathematics, physics, but in some subjects, we don't have at that time. So we decided, we have a clique, friends, we decided during holidays, you go and learn this subject, you go and learn this among ourselves. And when we come back to the school, we teach ourselves how to pass exam. So that's how we were able to pass with a good results.
So you
because
most of the subject tutorials except
physics and physics. So anything that has mathematics, I'm good in it. But I don't like anything that has, yes.
All right,
Okay,
sir.
just a minute. Away from your personal life, we're now in 2022. Bidding has been done with respect to 5G technology in Nigeria. What does that portend for the future?
Okay, we are in digital era, and this digital era, you need a digital infrastructure to succeed. Like the way we are building roads, railways, and airports for physical infrastructure. If you want to succeed in a digital era, you need a digital infrastructure. 5G is the backbone for any digital technology because it's the conduit that will carry information from one place to another. So we have these emerging technologies coming up, like we are talking about self-driving cars, we are talking about artificial intelligence, robotic, virtual reality, and so on. These are technology where we see like a science fiction before, but now they are becoming reality in products and services. Already some countries are using these self-driving cars. These cars, they are computers, and they need to communicate. As you are driving, it needs information. It has sensors everywhere. It has a sensors that will detect another car is coming. So it needs a communication channels, and it needs something that is very fast and robust. You can only achieve that with 5G. Yes, before there were conspiracy theories that the 5G has some health effect or other this, but there is no any scientific evidence that prove it has anything to do with COVID-19, or it has anything that is not good for us as a human beings. Because based on scientific research, the frequency used in microwave, in fridge, in television, and so on, is more hazardous than the 5G technology. So, you know, when technology comes, the sooner we embrace it, the better for us. Even if we don't embrace it, others will take it. And in Africa, this is a golden opportunity for us to leapfrog. When telecommunications comes to Africa, it grew faster in Africa than any region in the world. Because in 2002, when it came to Africa, at that time, they said there were more landlines in Manhattan than in the whole African continent. But 10 years later, there were more mobile phones in Africa than in the American continent, North American continent.
All right, sir. Sir, please, I want to ask you this question. You have gone to school. Yes, we've heard that you have gone to school. Okay, you're also in the government now. How would you describe studying in those days and the present day?
Well, I think it is easier now, because now the knowledge is easier to get. You can, most of the thing you want to know, you can get it at the click of your mouth. You can get the information you want. But then I remember I used to move from one place to another looking for someone who knows mathematics to teach me mathematics. But today you can learn anything you want to learn on your computer. And those days, I think, especially in our area, Jigawa, there were not enough teachers, because we have some subject without teachers at all. That's why we have to go and learn by ourselves and teach our colleagues then. But today, I don't think there is any subject that you say you don't have teacher in school. And then we don't have private schools. We don't even have information. I didn't even know what is JAM when I finished secondary school. It was after I went Bauchi, I learned that if I do JAM, I will get 100%. If I don't do JAM, I have to do remedial. But I think in our set, in that year, 1997, it was only one person who was living in Kano knows what is JAM. All we knew at that time was if you finish, you can go and do IJMB, or you can go and do remedial before you get 100 level. So the only thing maybe now is we have so much distraction, and maybe even the children, the students, they have attention deficiency. They prioritize something that is not urgent. Okay, they prioritize things that are urgent over what is important. Because if there is something breaking news, yes, it is urgent, you want to know, but it is not important. So you see the student waste a lot of time on social media doing other things that they are not important in their life than focusing on what is important for them. Because I remember that time we used to study till midnight. But today you see students having exam maybe the next day or tomorrow or jam, but they are not reading.
All right, so finally,
lastly,
let me ask the finally, sir.
what will you describe as your main success at the head of this agency?
I'm looking at it from two angles. What I promise for NITDA and NITDA staff, and what I promise for the public or the citizens. From the perspective of NITDA and NITDA staff, is transforming the agency. Today, NITDA has become among the top 10 agencies, government agencies in Nigeria. We have changed our culture from being like the culture of the mainstream public civil servant to more like a private organization. So we are more result-oriented. We have goals. We have a rewards and consequence system working in place. You know, if you perform, you be rewarded, and you know if you don't, there is a consequences. So we have that change of mindset. We have changed the entire agency, the environment. We have remodeled the place. Now it's looking more smarter because we deal with the ICT people, which they think they are the smartest in the world. So if you want to regulate someone, you have to be in the same level or above him. And other multinational. Then in the part of the national president, before ICT was contributing, when President Muhammad Buhari was appointed, ICT was contributing less than 5% to our GDP. But today, ICT is contributing 17.93% to our GDP. The president has promised to diversify the economy, to get more source of income for Nigerian citizens and make Nigeria a knowledge-based economy. So this is becoming reality. Today, ICT is contributing more than what oil and gas is contributing to our economy. And also today, we are seeing Nigeria is becoming the strongest IT ecosystem in Africa. Like when you look at the innovation, technology and innovation ecosystem, Nigeria has the best. It's attracting the highest foreign direct investment. More than 50% of foreign direct investment coming to Africa is coming to Nigeria. When you look at startups, in Africa, there were 6 unicorns. A unicorn company means a company, a privately owned company with more than $1 billion valuation. There are 6 in Africa, 4 are Nigerians, are in Nigeria, and only 1 in South Africa and 1 in Egypt. So you can see all this is because of the policies we are putting in place to create the enabling environment and to level the playing field for our citizens to thrive. And we have a focus on digital innovation and entrepreneurship. So in this year, we have some exciting initiatives we want to implement, specifically designed for youths, like the just last 2 or 3 weeks, the Federal Executive Council approved create a 21st century businesses for them to be able to compete with other innovation ecosystem in the world. So one of the priority area we want to focus more on is how can we strengthen this ecosystem? How can we create the enabling environment to help startups build new businesses? Because when you talk about innovation, innovation is a process. We look at it as a process of taking idea from inception to impact. We have talent, young people in Nigeria with groundbreaking ideas that can change the world, not even Nigeria. So, but how can government put the right policies that will help them move that idea from inception to impact? So we will focus more on creating that ecosystem, on helping them to grow and start their own businesses. Like if you look at Silicon Valley, what is helping them is those startups. That is what is changing the world, because the technology is disrupting everything. So we use the technology as a source of inspiration to change the way we do things. So this will go with, we are going to do more of digital literacy and capacity building. How can we help our citizens understand this technology and use it? And how can we build capacity of our youths to develop this technology tailor-made for our country that will help us develop our economy? Because the future is digital. So for us to succeed in 21st century, we need to be digital. Of achieving 95% digital literacy in Nigeria. So we don't want it to be just we are doing it for everyone, because if you want to ensure there is inclusion for all demography, you have to segment that initiatives. People living with disability, if you leave them to compete with others, it will be difficult for them. That's why we design a tailor-made program for them. Like also for women, we have a tailor-made program for women. We are not saying they cannot compete, but globally, women in tech are around 17%. 83% or more, or 83%, about 83% of people in tech are men. So therefore, we have a tailor-made program for women. We also have for children, because the way they think also is different. We need to come up with something designed for them. So our target is we want all Nigerian women, children, people living with disability, everyone to have that digital literacy. To achieve that, we have different initiatives for different groups.
So considering the way NITDA, your agency is effortlessly training and retraining staff and members of different kind of professions and associations, what plan do you have for security agency in order to equip them and enrich them with IT skills and knowledge? Looking the way insecurity challenges is derailing the country, do you plan in making them digital? Because you just said the future is digital. Thank you.
Yes, we have been working with all security agencies, training the people, equipping the offices with IT facilities, and also even doing some research with them on how to use emerging technologies to help improve our security situations. We are working with the military developing drones that can be used for surveillance. We are also working with them to see how we can use robotics and other emerging technologies to improve the security situation of our country.
Thank you, Madam Kashifu Inuwa, for having me in our program. On behalf of all my colleagues from different media organizations in Kaduna State, Kano, and Jigawa, I am Sani from Time-Based TV Africa, saying goodbye for now.